I'm Kit, and this is Caleb.
And we're the Trophy Bros.
Welcome to our podcast.
Listen as we share our crazy,
Off the wall,
and oftentimes ridiculous thoughts.
enjoy the episode. Welcome back to the Trophy Bros podcast. Man, I've been looking forward to this episode right here. It's baseball season in Texas.
Dude, you have no idea how amped my family is for this.
Might as well. I got all three of them playing some kind of baseball.
Dude, it's tournament season for us. Even as a high schooler, before we get into district play and all that good stuff, it's that time of year where you just play back-to-back baseball. Kids come home just exhausted. You're exhausted from going everywhere. It's just, man, it's incredible.
Oh, I'm so stoked.
We really sound like it too, don't we? Because it's early in the morning.
It is kind of early this morning.
But that's because we got baseball this afternoon and all day today.
Oh yeah, so this is the time to do it.
All right, man. So why is baseball? Why are we willing to put ourselves through such torment and early hours and stuff like that just to be able to come up here and play some baseball?
Man, baseball to my family, it teaches a lot of life lessons.
Yeah.
And so that's why I love to get my kids involved. One of the main reasons is baseball is a game of failure.
Oh yeah.
And so for my kids to learn, first off, that you're not gonna exceed at everything in life.
Yeah.
Is very eye-opening for them. And so it's kind of a love-hate relationship. It's a double-edged sword, but I do like when my kids strike out. I do like when my kids kind of fumble the ball because it's teaching them to how to adapt and overcome for the next at bat or the next ground ball hit to us. And so, life's the same way. And so for me, baseball is a lot like life, and it teaches life skills and how to adapt and overcome. So that's why in particular, my family loves.
Well, yeah, I think that you nailed it. Like, it's the adaptation. It's adjusting to life in general. I mean, it drives me bonkers when I see players, my son even more so when it's my son, third strike looking.
Yeah.
Well, it was outside, Dad. Well, I'm like, I don't care. The umpire called it a strike. It's a strike. That's how you play it. That's the way it is. You need to adjust. If you strike out looking more than once in a game, oh my gosh, it's like gonna blow my mind in frustration because you have seen, and the thing that gets me too is that my son's a catcher, and so he sees it before he even gets up to the plate. Right. And I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah, like, so he already knows what the ump's calling.
Yeah, you know that he's calling it like a foot outside. So
you got to go get it.
Yeah, you're standing on top of the plate, so you can at least go get it.
Yeah.
And that's yes, it's a game of failure. Yes, you need to adjust. But when they don't adjust, it's like, that's the frustrating part.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, guys.
Yeah, so it's just, it's definitely a game that teaches
patience,
and it teaches character too.
Yes, big time.
Integrity. Like, you need to go hard all the time. Go as fast as you can. It's a game of discipline.
Yeah, you can't take no plays off.
Yeah, and it's just repetition. You practice, and practice. It's like I saw a video that was talking about Stephen Curry, how he shoots like so many shots a day. It's like 500 shots, and then it broke it down. I was like, that means that's this how many shots a day, how many shots a week, how many shots a month, how many shots a year. And then it talked about, well, how many shots does he take in a game? And it was like such an astronomical single-digit percentage of what he takes in a game, but yet he is still like the best 3-point. And so I say that because baseball is a game of repetition, hitting the ball off of a tee, hitting and doing some of those things, playing catch, endless amount of time working on those things.
But like you say, hitting off the tee, but a lot of, like, especially kind of like high schoolers and stuff, think that's kind of babyish to kind of go back.
Yeah.
And so, but I've ingrained into my kids' head that, man, that's just going back to the basics.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes, when you're in a slump, when you're whatever the case may be, you have to go to the basics and start over and just work on mechanics, work slowly, get back to where you were going. And so, just to have the wherewithal to know that, hey, it's okay to kind of go back to the basics.
Yeah, and that's unique about baseball too, because other sports, it's like you can work on it, and football is kind of like baseball in some aspects, in that it is so much more of a team sport than basketball. Basketball, you can go and you can shoot hoops, you can work on free throws by yourself, but for baseball, it's harder to do that. I mean, yes, you can hit off a tee, but you have to have a tee
Right.
in that aspect. Football is similar too. I mean, you can't work on throwing passes if you don't have somebody to catch it. I mean, you can, but it's
Have a trash can out there.
yeah, it's just one of those things. As if you don't have to have a person in basketball to do that, but baseball is something that you have to be so disciplined and so driven to hit off of a tee. You have to be driven,
Yeah, absolutely.
and that's to me that's how you kind of weed out some of those who aren't as into it as maybe some of the other ones are. Are they willing to go in and work even when there's nobody else, to hit hit a ball off of a tee into a net over and over and over again, to slow down, to think about, all right, what are my mechanics? Am I loading early? Where's the ball, the tee set up in my stance to where I'm going to strike the ball? Is it in front? Is it behind? Is it out? Is it in? How are you getting your hands through? There's just so many things, and that's to me the strategy of it. And I think people, when they look at baseball and they watch it on TV, if you don't know the ins and outs of it, it can be boring.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And I've heard that comment from
Like, how can you sit here and watch a whole game of baseball on
Yeah.
TV? I'm like, because I love it.
well, it's like a game of chess.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's so strategic.
Well, especially in high school right now with the tournament season. Y'all
Yeah.
have to be so strategic with y'all's pitchers.
Oh yeah, like, so if your pitcher can only pitch 150 pitches for the tournament,
Yeah, that's
like how,
insane.
and there's potentially 6 games. I mean, you got to have a pretty good arsenal of pitchers,
deep rotation. Yeah.
or figure out how to manipulate and look at your schedule. What is a potential schedule? If we win here, then who do we play here? What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? Do they struggle to hit an inside pitch? Who do we have that can throw an inside pitch without plunking them?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's such a, I mean, to be a coach, it could be stressful. There's a lot to it. So, I mean, and then a lot of people don't see that. Well, why isn't this guy playing in this spot? Well, I mean, we need him at a later date to play in this position. And if we don't protect him now, then we're not going to be able to use him later. So, but it is definitely, I love just the mindset of it, and that, to me, and that's what it is. I'm not physically able to play it as much as I was back several years ago. I
Back
love
in the
playing
day.
like slow pitch softball and stuff like that. I can handle that.
Yeah.
But I get out there, like with my son, I would throw buckets and buckets of balls, and then he gets up there and throws. I'm swinging for the fences, and I'm not even getting
Whipping.
close. Yeah, I'm excited when I foul tip one off behind me,
Right.
and I'm sitting here trying to coach him, like, you need to get your back foot and like stay balanced, and I'm like I lose
Big
all
leg kick. Big leg kick.
like I lose all credibility when he sees me try to do it and then try to coach him.
Yeah. That's always great.
But it is one of my favorite sports to play growing up, and to coach, to watch. I mean, it's incredible.
Oh, absolutely. I find immense joy in just, teaching a kid to, one, hold the bat properly and do the right swing technique and everything. And to see them finally get, because I coach I just now kind of got out of the coach pitch era. And,
Praise the Lord.
oh, man.
A
thank
bunch of
goodness.
walks.
Well, no, not
Or
coach pitch.
beaming them.
Not coach pitch.
Oh, yeah.
Coach
yeah.
pitch.
Coach pitch. Well, it's hard for you.
Yeah, it's super stressful for me, but to see those kids get their first hit like off of live arms and
Yeah.
just hitting off the tee, and the joy on their face that means the world to me. Like, I mean, I've had a couple kids that, last couple games they finally get their first hit, and they're just, when they get to first base, they're just like jumping up and down, doing circles. I'm like, stay on the bag, It's-
You're throwing your glove down. It's like, there goes my no hitter.
No, but no, we're just now starting kid pitch with Cal, and so I'm looking forward to that. He's been working his tail off at the shop, doing some pitching and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm super stoked.
Yeah, so that transitions into a whole different ball game right
Yeah,
there. It's
yeah.
a lot of walking,
Yeah,
a lot of hit
Well, the
batters.
good thing is I've been around y'all long enough that I've kind of gone through that as well with y'all.
Yeah.
We're always at the ballpark together, and so
Yeah. Oh,
So-
the kit phrase of all the batters is
Oh,
like,
yeah.
relax.
Relax,
Just
man.
relax. Relax.
you got to breathe, relax, stop being so tense.
Yeah. Well, and I run sound and PA stuff for our high schooler, and so I picked up a new sound effect for when our batters get hit by a pitch. And so I thought I would play it for you, and then think about all these kid pitch batters
It's
are going to
get
be.
nailed.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So there's going to be some
Oh,
big
Coach Dugan.
crocodile tears coming down. Yeah.
Yeah, Coach Dugan, huh?
Yeah. But yeah, so if as we talk about all these players, does your son have like a specific baseball, like major league baseball player that he tries to emulate?
So Caden's finally gotten back into the game of baseball, which I'm ecstatic about. But he's an Jose Altuve fan, and
He's a cheater fan.
no, he's an Altuve fan.
Gotcha.
And so, Altuve, I think, has changed the game a little bit to where size doesn't matter.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And so, Caden is very small. I say very. He is small for his age.
That's why we call him Sparky.
And so that's, he always says, Altuve proves that size doesn't matter, and that, Caden, when he does have correct technique and correct mechanics, I mean, the kid can
Oh yeah.
hit a ball.
Man, he
And,
can crank it.
And I've noticed, because last year he took off, transition into junior high, didn't know, schedule wise what we were going to be able to do. And so, with him hitting the weight room last year and this year, it's completely amazing the amount of strength the kid has that he didn't have, just playing travel ball year round.
Yeah.
And so I'm super excited about this year to see what's going to happen with that. Callan's player, well, it depends on what position he's playing, but he's always been a Joey Gallo fan,
Yeah.
just for the fact of he's seen Joey Gallo go through the ups and downs, and that he still presses on. But for catching wise, the guy just left my mind. Texas Ranger catcher.
Jonah Heim.
Yep, Jonah Heim.
Yeah.
He is a Jonah Heim freak.
Yeah.
He just anything Jonah Heim does, he's trying to imitate behind the plate.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
And he's had his struggles too coming up.
Oh yeah,
He's
yeah,
had to
absolutely.
wait
Yeah.
his turn.
wait his turn, and
Yeah.
be that backup. But Cal, last year during coach pitch, there's no stealing, nothing like that. So, and kids are still trying to figure out how to catch the ball and stuff. And so, Cal, he's kind of like a freak of nature. He's really good at baseball, and
Yeah.
so I was like, Cal, you're gonna have to play a lot of first because I need somebody that can catch the ball,
Yeah.
But he took that role, and when we got up, he got to play some catcher, and he enjoyed it. But he's really looking forward to this year because now we have to have a catcher
Yeah.
to keep the kids from stealing, and so he loves the pressure.
He's already working on his pop time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I think my son is a catcher, and so he tries to emulate a bunch of these major league catchers. And so he does like Jonah Heim, but he also goes back and he watches YouTube, and he watches like Pudge Rodriguez, watching him catch. Not only when he was with the Rangers, because that's our team,
right.
but
Homers.
like when he was with the Marlins, the Detroit Tigers. But he also goes back and watch a little bit of a Yogi Berra.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just guys like that. That's not just a catcher, but that can also hit. And so when you look at those two guys right there, at the Pudge and Yogi, those guys could hit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jonah can hit. I mean,
Well, that too, and you're kind of watching how the game has evolved too, because Yogi caught in a different stance than Pudge.
Yeah.
Jonah's definitely catching in a different stance than what Pudge did, and so you're kind of seeing the evolution, I guess, almost in catching, and so you can kind of see what works and what doesn't work,
Oh yeah,
especially with like pop times and stuff like that.
and then how you
How do you
come
frame it.
and coming up to the ball to catch it and pulling it back in, and even I still don't know how I feel about like the leg laying out, like flat leg and catching and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
But to me, it keeps you from being able to have a good pop time. But I know there's situations in which you do it, situations in which you don't do it. I don't know. I just don't know.
what I gather, it's when nobody's on base,
Oh,
is
yeah.
when the legs out.
Yeah, and there's probably some good advantage to it that it probably saves your knees.
Yeah,
and-
rest your legs a little.
but I still don't know. I'm still like watching Pudge. I grew up watching Pudge, so that's my guy who I watch. Pudge and Juan Gonzalez.
Oh
and
yeah,
Ruben
Will Clark.
Ruben Sierra.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
Rusty Greer.
Yeah.
Bunch
Yeah.
of homers here.
Yeah. All right. So as obviously, we talked about what is your favorite team. It would be for us. It would probably be the Rangers.
Yeah, Texas Rangers.
I know my father-in-law is a big Houston Astro fan. We had dinner
So
with
is
him last
Caden.
night. We were talking trash. But for us, we're blessed to live in a state that has two teams, and both of them have been successful here within the last decade. The Rangers just won the World Series, so we're
Whoop,
pumped
whoop.
about that. But as you go to different ballparks, which would be like think about the ballparks that you've been to. What is your favorite ballpark that you've been to, and what is the ballpark you want to go to the most?
So I haven't been to a whole lot of ballparks. I've been to, Globe Life Park, Globe Life Field, the Astrodome when it was up and running.
Old school, yeah.
So when Jeff Bagwell and all them were there,
The Bees.
Yeah. And so and I've been to, I think, let me think. That's probably about it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I've driven by a lot of them just because when we go on vacations, we kind of drive by and look at them. But the Astrodome was probably the coolest one to me,
Yeah.
just being inside. Way back in the day.
Yeah.
And so, funny story is that when we went there, it was during the baseball lockout, and so you really didn't have all the big wigs playing and everything, and so my dad's like, let's buy the cheapest ticket. And no one's there because nobody wants to go see all the scrubs play.
Yeah.
And so we make our way down to the bottom, right? And so we're sitting, I'm talking like 2 rows back out in right field. And, we're thinking we're high cotton and everything. And and my mom, she has no care in the world about being there. And she just falls asleep in her chair. And I'm talking a home run gets hit, and it bounces, and it hits right underneath her chair. It scares the living mess out of her. It was
It's like a shot collar.
yeah. Oh, it was hilarious. And that's the same day we lost my brother in the Astrodome.
Oh my.
Yeah. So my dad took me to the restroom, and my mom turned and said, "Here comes Clay. He needs to go." And well, we didn't hear him, and so Clay just goes and starts walking around the foyer there, and
Dude.
we finally found him. But anyways, but no, the Astrodome probably. But the one I would like to go to would probably be Fenway.
Yeah.
I would love to go inside the green wall and just see, because they say, and I've seen a couple pictures, but they say, like first timers get to go in and sign the wall, and just to see all the all time greats from the past, and just see the signatures and see how thick probably those marker walls are. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
because there's got to be hundreds.
Yeah. Well, there's so much history around that stadium. We went right after COVID hit, and it was still locked down. We actually had tickets to go, and then when COVID hit, they ended the season that year, and so we weren't able to go. And we were thinking we're going to at least go on a tour.
Yeah.
And so no, they wouldn't even let us in. Like we were lucky to get into the fan shop to be able to buy. We bought a jar of dirt from. I think we brought it
Yeah.
back and gave it to
Yeah, we
to
got
Caden.
yeah, we have that.
But yeah, but there's so much history even around the outside of it. We saw all the statues and tributes and stuff like that. It's just incredible. Like you see the famous big triangle sign out in
Yeah.
the field.
I think that'd be amazing.
Yeah, it was cool. It's not really as close as you think it is when you're watching it on TV. It's actually across the interstate.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's crazy. But yeah, I would love to be able to go back and see that one. We're actually going to Washington D.C. this summer, And so my wife was asking me, what is 3 things that you have to do? Number one thing, because I love baseball, we're going to Washington Nationals game.
Oh, that's sweet.
So that's one more stadium I get to kick off my list. Went to Seattle, the T-Mobile Stadium, this past season in September. Went on a scout trip for a mission trip that we're going on, and one of the guys that we're going with is a chaplain for the Texas Rangers affiliate, Round Rock Express. So he got us tickets. I mean, and we were right there behind home plate, probably about maybe a dozen rows back. But man, we got to watch the Texas Rangers play the Seattle Mariners, and that was cool. It's a cool stadium, and it's one of those things that when I watch it on TV, all of these stadiums look massive.
Oh,
and they are to a degree, but this one just felt like it was a little bit more confined. Like the seats were together. There wasn't like a ton of seats like when you go to some of these other ones. But it was still a nice stadium.
Yeah.
And I think it's just the location geographically and the culture up, the Pacific Northwest. I mean, it's just.
That's what Alan said about, is it Budweiser Park?
Yeah.
St. Louis?
St. Louis. Yeah.
He said it's the same way. He
Yeah.
said like their third level is like the first of our second level.
Yeah.
So it's like very compact and tight.
Yeah. And they do some pretty cool things there. Like when we went, I'm used to going to the Rangers ballpark, and then you buy like an $8 drink, and that's small, and you have to ask for no ice and stuff like that. And then everything else, I mean, everything is so expensive. There at the Seattle one, they gave you a cup, and they had like open fountain drinks.
Oh,
So it was like, that's the way to do it.
yeah.
That is, I mean, you may have paid, like I may have spent $15 on a cup, but I was able to go back. It's better than I was getting like 4 or 5 refills throughout the game. And
That is nice.
Yeah, and I thought, man, that's pretty cool. And I got like a $15 dog food scoop. That's what I call the cups because they always wind up in my dog food bin.
Yeah.
And all those,
But but there's just also some other parks that are just, to me, that are eye catching.
Yeah,
And that's like kind of like Miami.
yeah, Miami's pretty cool.
Yeah, they got a sweet park with the pool and everything.
Yeah,
I like Houston because they got the train that runs through.
yeah, that's
Colorado. I like the Rockies back in the back.
yeah, the trees. Oh,
Yeah,
and then
I mean,
like the Angels, they have like that waterfall coming over the rock.
Yeah, I mean, just stuff like that. That's kind of just eye catching, like
Yeah.
eye candy almost. You know what I mean? And so it kind of draws you in, especially when you're watching it on TV. You're like, oh, that's a pretty sweet park. Maybe I want to visit.
Yeah, that's kind of like, I think Kansas City was kind of the go-to place that kind of started that.
Yeah.
They had the waterfalls coming down. Then the Tampa Bay had the Devil
Stingray
Rays,
pit.
yeah, the Stingrays, and the Arizona Diamondbacks were kind of the first one to have like a swimming pool that you
Yeah.
could kind of go and lounge in and watch the game.
Yeah.
I mean, so things like that, those are cool, and it's just neat to see how they're evolving and creating a stadium that's going to be more user friendly for the fan.
Yeah.
And it's drawing them in. You're going to get more people who don't get baseball. You get them with those kind of things that draw them in. And I think there is a trend that is being more fan driven in Georgia, and it's called Banana Ball. The Savannah Bananas and the Party Animals. It is I think it's a neat and great way to get people who maybe think, like we were talking about earlier, that baseball's a boring game. And bring them in and draw them in to be part of that game. And they have some pretty interesting rules. I think we talked about it earlier. I think your favorite rule was if a foul ball was hit, if a fan catches it, it's an out.
Automatic out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, you see all these great catches like at these, like when you do go to Globe Life Field and the Astro game or whatever, you see these fans just make these spectacular catches. Like everyone's probably seen the YouTube video of the guy holding the baby
Yep.
and his beer,
Yeah.
catch a foul ball with his bare hand.
Yeah.
And it's like, that should be an out.
That should be a couple of outs.
Yeah, I mean,
And that guy should get a
save
contract.
this baby.
Yeah, should get a contract to be able to play, at least be a bat boy or something.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so-
so that's a cool rule. Have you ever been to a major or minor league and caught a foul ball?
No, super close, but it's
Yeah.
been a couple seats away.
Uh,
And I'm just not one that's going to lay out over seats.
oh yeah, I'm not either. I have at a minor league game caught a line drive foul ball
With your bare hand?
it was with my bare hands and a program.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was we lived in Tulsa, and so we would go to the Tulsa Drillers game all the time, and we sat behind the first base dugout, probably about 15 rows up, and there was a bunch of like sorority girls sitting behind us. They had no interest in really even watching the game, but it was probably sorority night at the ballpark, and so there was a foul ball that was just lasered. It was before they put all the nets up and all that kind of stuff. It was just lasered, and if I could have let it go over me, and it would have nailed one of those sorority girls.
Oh, man.
And there would have been, but then I probably would have been wearing. I would have been wearing beer, and I probably would have been wearing some of their blood. But
More than likely.
yeah, and so I stood up.
There's no telling what you would have been called.
Yeah. I stood up and I had like one of those, just a small little freebie program that they give you when you're walking in that you can keep the score in and all that kind of stuff. I stood up and I caught it and trapped it with my bare hand in the backside of that program, and everybody was just kind of looking. It happened like in an instant. I just popped up, caught it, and sat back down, and everybody was like, "What just happened?" Like those girls behind me
Didn't even see the ball.
Those girls behind me had no fat clue. They were looking at their phone. They were probably texting each other as they're sitting next to each other.
They had phones back then?
Yeah. I'm not that old. And then I had one of the ushers come down and was like, "Oh my gosh, that was incredible." And then I had like the first baseman, I forget who it was at the time, was like, "Pretty good catch. Does that count?"
I wonder what you would do if you caught like Josh Hamilton's bat that time. He threw it in the
dude. No, but they did. They made it. They made it. To me, at the time, it didn't seem like that big of a deal, but they made it sound like it was a great big deal. And I guess as it was, if I didn't do it, it would have, like I said,
hurt somebody,
smashed somebody.
Sure.
So, but I've caught that one. That's it. But I've always wanted to catch one at a major league game, like at the Rangers or something like that. So.
Yeah. Anyways, back to the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah, Savannah Bananas, dude. They have some of their other rules are like you can't step out of the batter's box. If you do, it's an automatic strike.
You can't bunt.
You can't bunt. If you bunt,
even if you score up to bunt,
you're ejected from the game.
Ejected.
Yeah,
not an out.
Yeah, ejected.
You're gone.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I'm thinking, do I like that rule or do I not like that rule?
I'll tell you what rule I do like. That's the pass ball rule.
Oh, where you can steal first on any base,
any
pitch. Yeah, any ball. Yeah, that's one of the rules. You can steal first on any pitch, even if the catcher catches it and you think
you can beat him.
Yeah, you can go. But if a ball gets past the catcher, you're free to go. And it's not just stopping at first. You can steal and go to second base.
Yeah.
If you wanted to. For some reason, it just goes crazy back there. Ball explodes. You can do that, but. Also,
I definitely. I mean, just think of how much that would change the game.
Yeah,
like in high school for sure. Like how many pitchers kind of get up there with no really decent warm up and they're throwing crazy.
Oh yeah,
and it's just like, but yet on that third strike it's like dialed in, But first two pitches are wild. Let's run.
Well, it speeds up the game. And that's the other thing. They have a 2-hour time limit on the game. So there's no mound visits. If the pitcher's struggling, it's like you gotta figure it out.
Yeah,
you make it happen.
And I do also like the score rule. Like you can score 15, 14 runs.
It's skins. Yeah, you play for skins almost.
But yet it's only 1 point for the inning.
Yeah. So if you score 15 runs and the other team only scores 2, you only get 1
point. And so it really keeps it to where, like we said earlier, like you always have to be ready for the play. And so, sitting there knowing that, hey, this is only going to be 1 point at the end of the inning, we got to be on top of our game.
Yeah, so it's almost like if you're home team and you go up for 1 run above them, do you just go ahead and sacrifice those other 2 outs or however many more outs you need to get out of the inning just so you win that game, win that inning and get the point?
I don't know. It's definitely a different strategy that you have to kind of look at playing that way.
Yeah. So if one of the other rules is if it's ball 4, you take off running, and what happens is that everybody in the field has to catch the ball, touch the ball before the play ends. So if I'm walked on ball 4, I'm sprinting to first, going around as fast as
You
I
could
can.
almost get a home run.
Yeah.
I mean,
In the park, walk, home run.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
How would you write that down?
I don't know. I don't know how you would score it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how would you put that in the book?
But that just, again, it just goes back to the skins, though. I mean,
yeah.
because that could happen 5 times in an inning. So, I mean,
But then the suicide rule or the tiebreaker,
oh yeah. So the tiebreaker is
that would be amazing.
yeah. So at the end of the 9 innings or 2-hour time limit, if the score is tied, but I think, hold on, before we even get there, we talked about it's a skins rule. Then the 9th inning, every run counts as a point.
Yes, every does.
So
That's where it could open up,
yeah.
really. But then again, I mean, it could be such a close game that it's just like, oh man, we're like I said, you're gonna have to be on top of your A game.
Yeah. So, but if it goes down and it's tied in the 9th inning, what they do is they take everybody off the field except for the pitcher and the catcher, and then they add one fielder.
Yeah,
and so the batter hits the ball, puts the ball in play, and they run around the bases as quickly as they can.
They have to score. They
can't
can't stop on a base. There is no safe base.
So you're looking at as a batter, you're looking at where the fielder is, and you're trying to put it the complete opposite of where they are. So the fielder has to catch it and throw it to the catcher at home, and be there to catch it.
Can the pitcher? What if he hits a little dribbler back to the
I'm
pitcher?
not sure if the pitcher can do that. So I'm wondering if it has to be just that one fielder.
Okay.
I mean, what is some of the other rules? I'm trying to remember.
Well, we kind of went through a lot of them. I'm not for sure.
Yeah, there's it changes the strategy. Like we talked about earlier, we talked about how baseball in general is just a chess game. You add some of these crazy things, it's almost like it's a circus. You have Savannah Banana and you have the Party Animals are kind of the two teams that play each other. But even though they play each other pretty regularly and consistently, when you have all of these rules, it changes. Like in everything, it's geared to be entertaining.
And you have a lot of retired MLB players that kind of go, like I've seen Hunter Pence suit up for him. I've seen
John Cena
out of everybody suit up for him. And just,
what's his name from? It was one of those little boy band. NSYNC, wasn't NSYNC? What's that other one? Backstreet Boy. One of the Backstreet Boys came.
Really?
Yeah. It's like I want it that way.
But I think with the they say a 2-hour game time limit, but they are so fan oriented that it takes another hour to hour and a half after the game for everyone to finally kind of disperse, because they are out in the crowd signing autographs for kids, just like on both teams. Then they're just out there being fan oriented, and I think that's where a lot of these people are kind of getting that itch to go. And it's because they are so fan oriented, they are so geared to the entertainment side of it, that's you're getting little girls going with their dads, and the dads are actually able to watch a baseball game, but the girls are getting the entertainment side of it. Yeah. And I think that's bringing a lot of families close together for that bonding experience that a lot of families need and want.
Yeah, they're in the stands. Like watching some of their videos, they have walk-up songs to where they're out in the stands.
Yeah, they're walking down the
aisles onto the field and engaging with the people in the stands. And, it's fun to watch them. And it's so well choreographed and practiced. I mean, I can't imagine, all right, I got to go into baseball practice and work on my
dance moves.
Choreograph this for tonight's game. But
I got to go early because I got to get on my stilts.
Yeah.
Stuff like
yeah. Well, I mean, and it's such a love affair almost for baseball. I hate to call it a circus because saying it's a circus kind of makes it sound like you're degrading the game of baseball. But it is. It's so entertaining. It's like Barnum and Bailey Circus.
Yeah, absolutely.
Meets baseball, MLB. And you have like legit really good baseball players that are playing the game but love it and want to draw people in. You look at all of these Major League Baseball or Major League sports, and their goal is to bring in more fans and more fanfare. Like you have the All-Stars, you have all this. I think the Savannah Bananas are doing their part to bring people and draw people into.
Maybe we should like bring them into the All-Star game.
Oh, I think
You know what I'm
that'd be
saying?
great.
Like,
yeah,
like a Friday night, Savannah Bananas play the All-Stars. How
Yeah.
awesome would that be? Buy banana rolls.
yeah.
That would be awesome. No,
Well,
I watched the interview the other day, and it was asking a bunch of questions like, "Is it scripted? Is it this? Is it this?" And the guy was like, "No, like we're here to play baseball,
Yeah,
but the scripted part, dance moves. That's about as scripted as we get."
yeah.
He goes, "But the actual playing the game, there is no script. There is, He goes, to be honest, Party Animals have won more games probably than the Savannah Bananas, just
Yeah.
because But like I said, I think they're just bringing the joy of baseball to everybody in a different form.
Yeah, baseball is considered America's favorite pastime, and I would say for the longest time it really wasn't.
Yeah,
But I think that Savannah Bananas are really trying to bring that back and
Yeah,
making that a
absolutely.
true statement.
so I know we've talked about ballparks. I know we talked about Savannah's, bananas, and that's kind of a food. So, what's your favorite ballpark food?
Man, I like a good nacho.
The
Like,
helmet nachos.
The helmet nacho, like with the
man.
brisket, and not just like the traditional yellow cheese, but like with the white queso,
Yes,
the
yes.
pico. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not a big like jalapeno pepper, but I do like a little bit of pico.
I always call so when I was kind of getting out on my own, they were the Robbie Ross nachos, and so that's what I still call them, the Robbie Ross.
What's in a
nachos.
Robbie Ross nacho?
The brisket, the helmet,
Oh, yeah?
the white queso. That's when Robbie Ross was here, and he was one of probably the first relievers to come out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
And so they just named it after him, and so that's.
Me?
But like when me and the kids go, like because everything's so expensive, especially at Globe Life Field. It's we'll share a big old boomstick,
Yeah.
and so that's probably our second thing that we go to. But yeah, nachos and boomsticks, man.
Yeah, there's so many varieties of the boomstick too. I know our kids, we've done that a couple times too, but they even have so many different. They're always coming up with something different.
Crazy too.
Like you think, like you go to the fair and you have fried Twinkies and Snickers and stuff like that. They have
Fried Oreos.
all those things like that. But now even at Globe Life Field, they're bringing in some more traditional style
Yeah.
restaurant. Like Whataburger is going to be.
Yeah, I saw that
And
yesterday.
then Golden Chick and stuff like that. What is it? The barbecue place, Dickie's is there.
Yeah.
So I mean, you have some of those places that are like that. But if you just want some traditional, old school ballpark, you can't go wrong with a hot dog.
Dollar hot dog night. Yeah.
Man,
Man.
you throw down some $30 worth of
Hot
dollar
dogs.
hot dogs.
For your family, and
Yeah.
boom.
But I like because I grew up in East Texas. There was a barbecue place called Bodacious Barbecue, and as a kid, I would tear up some sloppy joes from that place. And there's one right behind the ballpark here in Arlington, and so like there's a special night where you can go and you can get like $1.25 sloppy joe. It used to be like $1 sloppy joe, and I would go and I would always tell my wife, like, we're just going to buy like 30 of these. We're going to go and sell them at the ballpark. We're going to sell them for $5. I mean, we could probably sell them for $10 and
Make some money.
make some money. We're going to pay for our tickets. Next time we come, we're going to be sitting right behind the plate. All right.
Yeah.
We're going to be the one shaking our hands with the
beating
foam
the
finger. Yeah. So, but no, it's nachos and hot dogs, peanuts and Cracker Jacks and all that kind of stuff. They used to have the all you could eat section at the old stadium.
Man, that was nice because it was only like $25 too for the ticket.
Yeah, we would
So-
tear it up.
Yeah.
We did that for a playoff game, and that was definitely the way to go.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So when we do go to these games, do you like dress out in your swag, like from head to toe, Texas Ranger? Like you have shorts, socks, shoes,
Man, I'm not that
possible-
way.
even boxers, maybe.
No, I'm not that way. I'll have a hat. Typically, a hat is about as much as I go. But if I feel like I'm really fanatical, I'll wear a t-shirt and a hat. But I'm not. I refuse to be fanatical about any sport. But if there was a sport for me to be fanatical about, it would be baseball. But I just don't. I'm not that way. I don't even really do that way for my son and his like. I'll get a hat and maybe a shirt.
Yeah, that's about an extent for me too. But my kids, like
Jerseys,
Callan, oh man,
sporting like that $150 jersey.
No, not 150. He'll get like a $25 T-shirt jersey, but no. But Callan, he's definitely one. He wants head to toe socks, shorts, and it's quite comical to see. But
Yeah.
but no,
Well, it's fun to see kids like that.
yeah,
It's a little weird when you see a
Adults.
grown adult that way.
yeah. Could you imagine? I know this is kind of off subject, but being a grown adult and being one of the maniacs for the Mavs.
Oh man, yeah, that would.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you do? Oh, I'm a maniac for the Mavs.
Yeah, but I think they have other jobs.
Oh, I know, but still,
But
like,
like,
what do you
what do
do
their
in your free
coworkers
time?
think? What do their coworkers think? Like, I just wonder, like, what do you like? I'm a Mav maniac, but like my real job, I'm an accountant or I'm a hospice nurse, stuff like
That's
that.
pretty wild. So, well, what's your? Let's just kind of dive into this. What's your all-time starting roster? We'll go in order,
Let's go 1 through 9,
1 through 9,
So
and
that'll
let's
be-
go ahead and do
DH and
DH and relief pitcher.
relief pitcher. All right. Number 1 pitcher. Who's your pitcher?
Randy Johnson.
Randy Johnson. Dude,
You have to see these guys play. It can't be, Ty Cobb or
did you
Babe
watch?
Ruth.
Have you seen
Randy
Johnson?
Absolutely.
on TV?
Yeah, it was on TV.
Yeah.
And that's fine. You can see it on TV.
Okay. Slow down, Chief.
I'm having to pull up my list.
I would say, hey, I love Randy Johnson. I mean, home dude like annihilated a bird
Oh yeah.
throwing that ball in.
Exploded.
Yeah. So I mean, that's hard to beat. I watched Nolan Ryan.
Yeah.
I love Nolan Ryan. Also, man, there's just been so many good ones. Nomo, you remember Nomo?
Nomo.
Yeah.
Who's Nomo?
He was a Japanese pitcher. He's like one of the very first Japanese pitchers that pitched for the Dodgers. He was really good.
No.
I would say he was a starting pitcher. He had like the really awkward
Delivery.
delivery.
Huh. No, I don't recall that one.
Yeah, he was good. But yeah, I would go Nolan Ryan.
All right. That's a good choice.
Roger Clemens was really good though too.
I know, but you would have to put a star by him,
Yeah. Well, I didn't. Okay. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. An
Okay.
asterisk.
An asterisk. Sorry. Asterisk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Star makes it sound like he was really good, like he did all
It
these
does.
great things. He did a lot of cool things, but it's an asterisk that
Yeah, for sure.
negative.
All right, so catcher.
I mean, I got to go Pudge Rodriguez. Pudge.
Yeah, that's who I have. But I also I had 2 down because I couldn't decide. Pudge obviously is my number 1, but Buster Posey was a very
Buster
close
Posey.
second. For
Oh,
me.
what's his name from the Cardinals too?
Oh, Molina
Yeah.
Yadier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that guy was a stud.
he was.
He'd
was.
hose you in a heartbeat.
And how would you like to be that family? That all 3 sons played in the major leagues, and all
Yeah.
3 were catchers.
Yeah,
I mean, that's awesome.
that's incredible.
Yeah, you don't get that very often.
Well, you know they're good when they have like catching gear after them,
Yeah,
and that's Posey.
yeah.
I mean, I had some Posey turf shoes and stuff like that. My son had some Posey.
Well, Molina, he was the only one that had the Jordan brand.
Yeah,
And so, I mean, for a brand to only stick with you,
Oh, yeah.
that's got to say something.
yeah, that's like Derek Jeter was with. I mean, so
Yeah.
Derek Jeter and Molina.
Yeah. So,
All right, so we got catchers, first base. I'm gonna go old school. I'm gonna go Will Clark, but I
you're
like.
being such a homer right now.
Well, I mean, I could go even more recent homer and go Nate.
I know. Nate Lowe, that's your favorite player.
He is.
But I'm going Miggy.
Yeah.
Miguel Cabrera. The guy just had fun. And just
Yeah.
the way he treated just other teammates and other players, I mean, I've seen him, untuck players' jerseys and
Yeah.
just having fun with the game of baseball, and that's what it should be all about.
I mean, if you really think about it though, and you want to go beyond that, and just playing the position, taking hitting wise too, you go Big Papi. The Big Papi was.
Yeah, Big Papi
I mean-
or Albert Pujols. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of great first basemen, but I'm kind of I try to look at the whole picture, and the way
Mickey could hit though too.
yeah, and the way kids kind of look at it too, and just
Having fun.
yeah, and my sons have said, man, look at him, he's pulling Jose Altuve around, or
Yeah.
rubbing Beltre's head, or just stuff like that. So to keep it fun.
Yeah.
So second base.
I'll go Altuve.
I'm doing Altuve as well. Like I
That
said,
goes against everything in me
I know it just makes you cringe, don't it?
because
He's not a cheater,
he's an Astro.
but
That's basically the same thing.
but like I said, he's kind of changed the game, and I think another player too, being on the homer side, is Kinsler.
Yeah.
Kinsler was kind of a smaller guy, and just he still had the power and everything. And to me, I guess that's why Caden loves to play second base and to be the small kid. But yeah, Altuve for sure.
I mean, you look at who the Rangers have as a second baseman now. Remember who it is?
I have no idea right now. I was wanting to say
Simeon.
Oh yeah, Simeon. I
Yeah.
was wanting to say Odor, but I was like, that's totally wrong.
Simeon's good. I mean, he hasn't
Yeah, he
always
is
been.
good.
He's one of those guys that have been. He was a Toronto Blue Jay.
Was and
Yeah.
he was with the A's too, wasn't he?
I think so. At
I
one
think
point.
that's where we got him from. Was the A's? I thought.
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, but yeah, no, he's kind of a smaller guy, and he's jacking home runs like crazy.
All right, third base.
Third base, Beltre.
Beltre. Yeah, you could go Beltre. You could go Alex. Or
I'm not going Alex Rodriguez.
I'm trying to think of like you could go them in their prime. Like
No.
go Cal Ripken.
Yeah, Cal Ripken, but I
But
never saw Cal Ripken.
He was
play.
more of a shortstop in his prime though, so I
Right.
think I'm gonna go shortstop with him.
But I'm going with who I've seen,
Yeah,
and it's Beltre.
yeah,
The kid, like I said, the guy had fun.
yeah.
I mean, watching him and Elvis play side by side,
Yeah.
what's so much joy just playing the game. I mean,
Yeah.
how many times did we see, one of them's acting like they're catching the foul ball and the other one catches it, or
Yeah,
whatever.
absolutely.
And when Beltre moved the batting circle and got tossed, I mean,
Yeah.
just stupid stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just-
Yeah, and then the next night, the promotional giveaway was a mouse pad in the shape of a batting circle.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Like even though mouse pads aren't even used
now, yeah.
I'm like,
So that's-
we're gonna use that.
All right, shortstop.
I gotta go Kyle Ripken. I watched him. Dude was a beast.
Well, I got to go the El Capitan.
Yeah,
Derek
Derek Jeter. Yeah, I give you that. He's good.
Oh.
So
Absolutely, one of the greats.
I just like Kyle Ripken, just the most durable, consistent.
Yeah.
I mean,
I see it, but like I said, I mean, I've seen highlights and stuff. So,
Yeah.
I mean, but I never watched a game with him
Oh.
playing short.
I
I've
loved
seen
it.
him play third,
Yeah,
but not short.
I loved it when he broke the record and
Yeah.
just walking around. I mean, just
I did see the video of where like he was like in his last All-Star game,
yeah,
and A-Rod moved third and moved him to short, and that was a pretty magical moment, I guess, if you were a big Cal Ripken fan. And so I thought that was just
yeah.
cool and honoring to
Yeah.
him. So
Respect.
yeah, for sure. All right, so left field, right?
Yeah, left field.
Left field. I'm gonna have to go with my man David Murphy. I know he's not a stud or anything like that, but the dude was very consistent.
Yeah,
I mean, when you needed a base hit, there was, to me, when David Murphy, I was like, all right, here we go. We got the base hit now.
yeah.
Like, I never worried about him striking out a whole lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to happen.
He has. He's gone through a slump or two.
But, I mean, he was very consistent. He gave his all, and he was a Christian man, Christian values. And so,
I think he still is.
yeah, he is. I said he was, wasn't he? But yes, he is a Christian man of Christian values, Christian
Yeah.
morals, and so that's always positive to see.
Yeah.
So, and he's not afraid to speak it,
Yeah.
and so
Walk up song.
yeah, and so my kids really kind of looked up to him too
Yeah.
in that aspect. That it's okay to still be a professional and to share your faith.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I loved him too. That was probably one of my son's favorite. And when he played, he was definitely one that we loved to watch, and you just respected him just because the way he carried himself.
Oh, absolutely.
He cared for other people's. He wasn't a selfish player. So I'm a little bit older than you, and so not by much. So I would put Ricky Henderson out in my left field, just because the dude
Ricky.
dude was fast. Fast as lightning. I mean, stole bases like crazy. Could track down any baseball. So
Oh yeah, for sure.
I would put Ricky Henderson.
Ricky Henderson.
Yep.
All right. Nice.
Center field now.
Oh,
I know yours.
This is easy for me.
It's easy for me too, and it's not the same one.
But mine's the kid, Ken Griffey.
Ken Griffey Jr. Yeah.
Dude was phenomenal.
Yeah.
He could just fly.
Climbing over walls,
Man.
catching balls,
And it
cranking them out.
yeah, but when he would track down a ball that was, that you would see most players struggle with, it's like he just made it with ease.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the kid, oh man, it was amazing to watch. It really was.
Yeah. Well, like I said earlier, I'm a little bit older.
I know.
Going Bo Jackson.
Bo knows.
Bo knows. Bo Jackson. Oh my gosh.
Has a
Freak of nature.
cannon.
Freak of nature.
Oh, absolutely.
Never forget seeing him tracking down a ball, running up the side of the wall, and then coming back down. Seeing him run through the wall.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Bo,
Like
and then
it wasn't even there.
yeah, and then to come up. I mean, I've seen him catch a ball, running to left center field, catching a ball, and a guy who is on third base thinking he's going to tag up. Actually, no, it wasn't even. He didn't catch it in the air.
It was a bouncer, wasn't
It was a bouncer,
Yeah.
and kind of got past him, and he got the ball and he hosed him.
Yeah.
The guy thought like, "There's absolutely no way." Nobody in the stadium, even the announcers. I mean, I think even the umpire was probably shocked. Like, "Oh, I got to make this play. I got to make this call."
Yeah.
Hosed him at home plate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, just incredible. And he was super fast. And he played other sports. I mean, just
Just a multi-athlete.
He was-
I mean, he was a stud.
yeah,
I mean, there's no other way to put it.
yeah.
And so, all right, right field.
And this is the one I struggle with. I would put.
Oh, not me.
I probably put Rusty Greer.
Right field. See, Rusty Greer was my left fielder because that's when I just watched him play.
Yeah,
It wasn't left field, but I'm going Ichiro.
Ichiro. Yeah,
Talk about another consistent guy.
yeah. He had a cannon.
Oh, dude.
Inconsistent, like could throw the ball where
Anywhere,
he wanted.
Yeah.
Where he wanted. And
You know, he's
laser
still
it.
pitching in the Japanese league. Like he's pitching,
That doesn't surprise me.
and like,
Freaking nature.
and he's pitching like 87-mile-an-hour fastballs, and
Yeah.
he's like 54 years old, and he's lasering them in there at 87 miles an hour.
yeah.
That is amazing. But no, Ichiro, he was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Man, just the way the fans interacted with him as well. That
Well,
was
and he
always-
drew in a
It's-
completely different
oh.
culture, the Japanese culture.
Yeah.
I think he was one of the first ones to do that.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like I remember going to Globe Life Field and Globe Life Park, and when we played the Mariners, just the amount of Japanese people that showed up. I'm like, I didn't even realize Texas had this many Japanese people.
They all came.
Yeah.
And that's why you have like Japanese culture nights
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and it's great. I mean, it's incredible to see all of that. And now you see more and more Japanese players being drafted and being pursued. You have higher end Japanese players than you have higher end U.S. players.
Absolutely, and that's why a lot of players from the U.S. are kind of going to the Japanese route too.
Yeah,
And that's just, when they're struggling here, they kind of go there and get back to the basics
Yeah.
and kind of start fresh. And, like Trevor Bauer's over there right now.
Yeah.
And so, and I think he's getting to the point where I think he's looking to come back to the major leagues within the next year or so, next season,
yeah.
hopefully this season. And, but yeah, I mean, it's just,
He has some other hurdles I think he has to get over, but athletically wise, I think he's right there.
yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. But, anyways, moving on. DH.
DH. Oh man.
And this was kind of hard because, like, you have all these DHs that kind of, they have positions that they played in their prime.
Yeah.
And so it's like, man, do I list him as a DH or, like you said, like Big Papi, he's my DH.
Yeah.
And so, like, but yet he was a pretty great first baseman as well. But I'm going Big Papi at DH.
Yeah.
Not playing a position, but just DH.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who I would put. Yeah, if I'm not putting Big Papi at first, I'm probably using him as a DH.
Yeah. But you got Frank Thomas. I mean, Frank Thomas was another just big guy that could belt home runs like crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
He
Nelson
was-
Cruz as DH. That's not a bad choice.
Yeah, Nelson was a little bit streaky for me.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, Josh Hamilton.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of great DHs, but it was just, I mean, I guess your more consistent one was Big Papi for me.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we're running out of time, and so we want to end our episode each time. Always do this, right?
always
End with a win. And so it can be on the field or off the field. What is a win for you this season?
This season. Well, for me, it's to see my oldest son back on the baseball field.
Absolutely, man.
Like I said, he kind of took a hiatus when junior high kicked off, and we didn't know what schedules were going to be, and honestly, to be real honest, like towards the end of his travel ball career, like he was just getting tired. Like we were going to practices 2-3 times a week and tournaments almost every weekend, and I think he was just kind of getting burnt out. And so for him to take that break really made him long for it.
Oh yeah.
And so like he is I've never seen him more pumped up for baseball practice than what he is right now. Like he's so excited for the game, so eager to be out there. He's wanting to go to the cages almost all the time, and so to me that's a win, just to see the joy of the game back in my son's life.
And just the physical aspect of it too.
that
He's
too.
matured physically
And mentally,
Yeah.
emotionally,
Yeah.
and so it's just
That's
great
cool.
to see.
Yeah, for me, it's not really anything to do with baseball or sports. For us, I'm a pastor, and so we did youth-led service this past week, and so we got to see students of ours really lead our church in worship. For me, as their student pastor, it's incredible to see. But my kids got to participate in that. My own son and daughter got to participate in that, and it's just so cool. We have a good group of seniors that just stepped up and nailed it, and to see them do that was incredible. But also to hear our church, our congregation, just love on them and say, "Man, that's awesome! You did great. We want to see that more often."
Yeah,
To me, that was just
That's
a shot in
always
the
a
arm.
blast.
It was a win, not only for me but for them. My heart is that they would grow in wisdom and stature in that direction for the Lord. So
And we just have a great church that supports our youth,
Yeah.
and so
yeah,
It's
and then
always-
having fajita lunch afterwards. I mean,
having the
that was
pizza lunch and the dessert auction, and and just to see the support from the congregation is
Very
just
generous.
awesome.
yeah.
So
Well, that does it for this episode of Trophy Bros, Diamonds and Dingers.
baby.
So we'll catch you on the next one. Holler at you later.
Thank you for listening to Trophy Bros.
You can reach us through email at trophybrospodcast@gmail.com.
Make sure to also check us out on Facebook.
And if you like our podcast, make sure to like, share, follow, and rate us.
We're the Trophy Bros, and we'll catch you next time.
See ya.